Okay, so before we start tonight, I just want to update everybody on what we've been doing here at SVH Fertility, and then we'll intro the night. You'll intro the night, and we'll get going. So, few things coming up. The big major thing is that this summer we are not going to be having an evening event. We're going to be doing a daytime luncheon. It's going to be at the home of Rochelle and Elliot Franco on July 2nd. So excited. We have amazing things planned. Please mark your calendars for July 2nd. It's going to be an unbelievable day. We also have a bunch of support groups that just started and are starting. If you are dealing with anything in the realm of reproductive and maternal health, we have a support group for you. We also have a Labor 101 course coming up July 8th. I took it myself a few months ago, and I thought it was incredible and very, very helpful, even though it was my fourth. We also are doing two new exciting initiatives. We have a Jelly Cats partnership.
That was fun.
Tell them about it there.
Basically, you could send any gift for any, newborn baby, birthday, anything happening. You could send through SBH. So not only are you sending a jelly cat, which if you don't know what that is, it's basically like a very sharp bunny that's very in style. And they have different colors and different shapes, different sizes, different animals. But in addition to the doll that you're sending a donation to SBH Fertility in honor of that child or person. So it's a great thing, and to just remind yourself when you need to send a gift, you could send through SVH Fertility.
Yes, and we've actually sold out of a bunch of the lines, and we are doing a restock, so very excited. It's been taking off. We also, I don't know, Sarah, if you know this, but we just created our own Pigeon coin. So if you know anybody who has a Pigeon coming up, we have our own personalized SVH coin, so keep us in mind for that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that brings us to tonight.
Okay.
I would say this is probably one of the most requested lives on repeat. Like, it doesn't matter how many times we do it. People are constantly asking us questions around this topic. We actually did one 2 years ago on almost exactly the same topic with Dr. Simone Hittery and Laura Cabasso and her mother-in-law Eileen, which was incredible. But we're back again with a little bit of a different twist. So Sarah, tell us what are we doing tonight?
Okay, so basically I've done a lot of lives, but for some reason this live has been very confusing. People are coming up to me in the street like, what is the live about? What's the point? I don't really get it. Why is it important to discuss like what to say and what not to say? Isn't it obvious? Like, don't people, have a filter already? So I'm going to go back to you, Reach, and you could kind of answer that, because I don't think it's so obvious. Even
yeah. Okay. So from our experience, it's not obvious, unfortunately. I think this is something that needs to be learned. Not unfortunately, it's something that needs to be learned. We don't always understand what other people are going through, and everybody's different. So I think tonight we're gonna delve into a little bit, try and cover as much as we can about a large population. But really, this is the topic where if you've gone through something if in the fertility realm, you understand that you can be so extremely sensitive about things that people say and do to you. And it can be one of the most difficult parts of going through whatever you are going through, right? Like those comments, those things that people say and do can be so triggering, right? And I know that word has become so filtered, watered down, but it really can be so triggering. It can be the one thing that really sets you off and sort of ruins your day, ruins your week. And we want to be more conscious of what we are saying and how we are supporting the people around us, even strangers on the street, from strangers on the street to your sister and best friend, right? We're going to really try and cover all of that tonight.
So basically the power of our words, I guess, is also, it's big. Okay.
Absolutely. I think like sticks and stone may break my bones, but what is it? But words can never hurt me. Absolutely, they can. Absolutely, they can. Especially for someone who's going through something a little more silently. I think saying the wrong thing can really be very, very hurtful. And we're going to be discussing tonight how to navigate those type of scenarios. I think yeah.
No. Just giving it back to you, like, so what can we do? But at the same time, we don't want to be on eggshells.
Okay, Exactly. So again, we're going to talk a lot of things today, and I don't want you to come away from this feeling like, okay, I have to walk on eggshells around everybody that I meet on the street, and my sisters and best friends. I'm going to be walking on eggshells around them. Listen, we're not perfect people. We don't even know what perfection is, right? We're going to do our best to get you on the right path, but you are going to make mistakes. This is life. We're going to, and we don't always know what's going on, right? Like you could be saying something completely innocently, and that could be taken as right. So we're gonna get into everything, but I think as much as we can, we'll create some guidelines, and just to be a little more conscious in general. If that's the only thing you take away from tonight, if you feel like you have to sign off right now, but don't, because we have a lot of good stuff coming up. I think being a little more conscious that people may be going through something. And again, not to walk on eggshells. Nobody's perfect. You have certainly said
I
things you
need this
probably
for
regret.
myself. I need this for myself. I am a very big mouth. I'm a chatty Cathy, and I have said one too many things that I regret. So this live is for me, directly to me, and that's why I am on the other side of this, being the person that has said things that I regret instantly, unintentionally and unknowingly.
Yeah. And I would say, as somebody who went through a few things in my life, I think those moments where people said something that was maybe off color, they were difficult moments, right? Like, even though I would say like, I have very thick skin, I think those were difficult moments. Even in more recent history, like there's moments where you're like, how could somebody say that to me? Like, how is that something that somebody could say to anybody? So I think, let's dive in. I think we have a lot to do.
What can we do?
I just want to get your thoughts rolling, because I know they probably are already. One of the things we do when we start our peer-to-peer training is to think about a person in your life that, if you're going through a hard time in anything, not fertility related, you're going through a hard time with anything, think about the person in your life that you would not share that with. You would not share that with. Why? Why would you not share it with them? A couple of reasons. I'm going to throw it out there. Maybe they don't know how to keep a secret. Maybe they would judge you. Maybe they would give you unsolicited advice. Maybe this is a person who never shares anything with you, so why would you share it with them, right? There's something about that person that does not embody someone that you would feel comfortable sharing with them. Okay, now I want to flip it to the person that you would feel comfortable talking to. Again, this doesn't have to be fertility.
Right.
Think about that person in your life that you would feel very comfortable sharing something difficult that you are dealing with, and why. What is it about their response that you would feel very comfortable talking to them? And I'm going to guess that they are not going to be judgmental, that they are going to be good listeners, that this is a person that you trust implicitly. This is a person that that gives you unconditional love, right? Who is not going to see you differently just because you said ABC to someone or did ABC to someone. This is someone who truly can see past this thing and give you the support that you need. Okay, so I want you to just have those two people in mind as we talk through this night, to sort of understand we're going to try and become more of that good friend, right? Well, that's the goal tonight. Try and be more of that good friend. We have 100 people watching now. If you're excited about tonight, please go tell your chats to come, because we have a lot of good stuff. Okay, so
let's go. Okay, so what can we do? What can we do?
Okay, so I came up with a couple of guidelines. These are not, I'm calling them guidelines. They're I would say rules, but not hard and fast rules. I would say they probably apply.
Like a toolbox, kind of.
Toolbox, like a toolbox. Some things to keep in mind that would apply to 90 to 95% of cases. And they'll apply, again, if this is somebody going through infertility, someone going through pregnancy loss, someone going through postpartum issues, anything really. Okay, so the first thing is to get educated so that you can be in tune with them, right? So again, you want to try and understand what it is that they are going through, right? So let's say they're going through infertility, okay, for example. You know that they're going to be doing IVF. Try and do your homework. What is IVF? Read up about it. Watch some Instagram lives. Try and understand what the IVF process is like from an emotional standpoint, physical, financial. Try and get a better understanding of what that person is going through so that you can be more in tune with them, right? If they're having an early loss versus a late loss, what is that like? What is that process like? What is my friend, sister, neighbor going through, so that I could best understand how to support them? Yeah. And I think one of the main things you could probably take away, if, let's say, I don't have a specific person in my life who's going through something, get a brief understanding of a couple of these things. And why am I saying that? Because they are so common. I'm not saying, like, I don't even want to say, God forbid, if someone in your life is going through it. Someone in your life is going through it. So trying to get a brief understanding, go back, watch our Instagram lives, read up on it. There's podcasts, there's books. Ask somebody who's been through it, who has shared, who you do feel comfortable talking to about something that they went through in the past. Try and get a little bit of an understanding that these issues are so common.
Right.
They're so common. And this way, when it does come up, or if it is coming up, you'll have a better idea of what it is exactly that they're dealing with.
Right.
Again, if it's something that, you have a very specific question or it's a very severe issue, please reach out to us. We have all the time we are doing Zoom conferences with friends, one-on-one conversations on the phone, just to give people an understanding of what they can say and do in these scenarios so that they can support their friends. It's no big deal. Even if you watch this whole entire thing and you're like, wait a minute, but my first cousin who lives down the block and is always coming over, I don't know what to do if, ask us. If for some reason you come away from this live and you're still not sure about something, ask. And I think to also keep in mind that even if you get a really great understanding of what somebody who's going through IVF is, what it's like, don't put them in a box. Okay, they're not now your IVF friend, and you're going to only see them as that IVF friend. And, oh, they must be thinking about it 24/7. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. Let's completely let go of judgment in that sometimes they're going to be in the mood to come out, and sometimes they're not. And sometimes they're going to be happy, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're going to be happy and sad at the same exact time.
Like a roller coaster. Yeah.
Totally. It's a total roller coaster. It is a total roller coaster.
Meaning people are complex in a sense, like I could be somewhere and be smiling, but the second I turn around, I could be crying. Like that
100%.
That is exactly, and you could see me and think that I'm the happiest person, but you have no idea what I feel really inside. Perfect. So kind of don't put me in any box.
100%. And it's almost like, oh, she's doing great. She's I always see her. She's doing awesome.
Right. But
you don't really know. You don't really know. And again, maybe they are doing great for that day, for that moment, for that week. Sorry.
Right.
But you want to sort of have in mind that these people in your life that are going through something, it's not so cut and dry. That there's a real complexity and nuance to it.
Right. Don't assume anything.
Actually, before I came on the live, somebody just told me, I was like, give me some tips, right? This is somebody who went through a very difficult journey. And she said, make sure you share that exactly what I'm just saying. Make sure you share that emotions can be complex. This is someone who went through primary infertility for years. And she, thank God, has 2 beautiful children now. But she shared, like, one thing that really helped her was after she had her baby, I sort of gave her permission to be having a hard time, right? Somebody who goes through infertility or pregnancy loss and then gets pregnant, you're like, I don't deserve to be having a hard time being a mother.
Right.
Like, no, it's hard to be a mother. It is hard to be a parent, no matter what your past was. It doesn't make things easier once that baby comes. We can appreciate what we have and also have a hard time dealing with what we have. Okay, so going back to that nuance, there's no, oh, she's probably on cloud nine. She finally had her baby. I don't know. Like, it's
Right.
hard, right?
That's
Okay.
the goal, right?
Okay. So to summarize, get educated in order so that you can be in tune with the people that you are
Got
supporting.
it.
Good. Okay. Number 2, keep your person in mind. Okay. So what does that mean? Try and understand what type of person are they. Okay. If they're someone that's super outgoing, is always sharing everything that's going on in their lives, anything that they've ever gone through, they've shared it with you. Know that about them.
But
Right?
meaning what? Now, what does that mean? If I know that about them, what am I doing differently?
I think most likely they're going to be sharing what they would like to be sharing with you. And you could therefore change your support based on that, on knowing that, right? If this is someone that
Is very quiet and to themselves.
super quiet, is never sharing anything, you're not going to expect suddenly for them to be different here.
Right.
And I would say, if this is the kind of person who, let's say it's your sister, okay? Let's go really close relationship. If this is somebody who typically you have to sort of pull something out of them, or if this is somebody who always relies on you to do something for them in their life, you should expect the same thing to follow here, right? Really think about that person and think about your relationship with them.
So knowing
that relationship,
role.
yeah.
Knowing my
Know your
role
role.
from before, and that role should stay the same throughout.
Exactly. So if it's my best friend who I'm always going to be there for her and we're always there for each other, then yes, you're going to be stepping up here. This is your best friend. Know that role. If this is somebody that you have very little relationship with,
My
don't
friend from
suddenly,
high school, you're just going to.
from high school, you're not going to suddenly become their best friend and go hang by their house and go visit them, kind of understand who it is that you're dealing with and think about that person as you give support.
Right.
And sort of temper yourself to where they're at. Meet them where they're at.
Got it. That makes sense.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Questions?
No, I think it makes a lot of sense. If it's somebody I haven't spoken to in 10 years and I just heard that they're having a hard time, I can't just show up and be there every second of their life when they haven't seen me. But if it's somebody that I talk to every day and, they're going through something, that's where I know, like, I'm still going to be there every day.
Yes, especially if they've shared it with you at some point, which hopefully they do, and we're going to get to that. All the more so reason your relationship should really remain on par. Again, you could always step it up, like there's somebody you
feel like you should. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. Number 3, always offer but never push.
Okay.
Okay. And this is going to apply to very, very many scenarios. Okay. Always offer something that you could do for them to support them, but never push them. Okay. Whether you are making dinner for them. Okay. I had a client who a couple of months ago, unfortunately went through something, and she said my mother-in-law came over and dropped off dinner, and I didn't want dinner. It was the one thing that I was able to provide for my children that day, was that I was making them a home cooked meal. And the mother-in-law obviously is she's just doing this out of the kindness of her heart, but that person took it as, why didn't you just ask me first? Like, what am I supposed to do with my dinner now? I made the Spanish and mac and cheese for the kids, So I think always offer. Ask the person, can I bring you dinner tonight?
But what if it's somebody that will always say no?
Then good.
But they still want it. Somebody who would say no, but in the end, if you gave them the dinner, they would eat it and they would be very happy. Like somebody who, let's say, is a little shy, to actually say yes. It's hard for people to accept help. I know for myself even, it's hard to say yes. You know what? I could use that. Thank you so much. So we have this tendency to just be like, I could do it myself. Thank you. No, I got it. But really, you would like it. It's a very hard medium. Like, I'm a pushy person.
So I'm going to talk to both people. To the person who offered, and they said no, again, never push.
No for today, try again tomorrow.
Don't try again. You could say, do you mind if I make it for you for another night?
Right.
But that's it. If they say no, they say no. You cannot push.
So respect it.
I would say almost never can you push. Once they say no, you have to respect that. Why? Most of the time, the people who are going through a hard time, it is not their choice. We are now giving the choices back to them. We are giving their freedom and their dignity back to them.
Okay.
They get to decide.
Okay.
They get to decide. Now, I'm gonna also speak to the client now. And I will say to the client, try and open up yourself to the idea that people
want to help you,
helping you, people want to help, and that you need the help. You deserve help.
Yeah.
You will be better off with help.
Got it.
And this is coming from someone, I'm not good at it either. You know, I think when I was going through my fertility journey, I did need somebody to push a little bit, right?
Right.
And I regret it. I regret that I didn't allow people to support me. Yes, I do regret it. Again, this is not, I'm not meaning to be disrespectful to anyone. I respect whatever anybody decides. I'm just giving you.
From your own experience, you feel that it was, in the end, it was better for you when you had
Absolutely.
help.
And it's better for every single person. Anybody who calls SBH Fertility, the beginning of that phone call, you are on the phone with one type of person. The end of that phone call, once they finally said, I do need help, it's a different person. It's a stronger person.
Right.
It's somebody who understands. I'm not a Hazi case because I'm calling somebody for help. I'm not Hazi. You're stronger.
Right.
You're already in a better place. You're now putting yourself in a better position mentally, physically. I'm getting a question here.
I got a few questions also. But I want to ask you a question. Do you feel that it's better when you're saying always offer, never push?
Yes.
When you're offering, is it better to be general or is it better to be specific?
Good. So, of course.
And I'll give you examples of that. Okay. You know, is it, hi, I miss you. What can I do for you? Versus, I'm at Uri's. Do you want a kale tuna? Which one am I better off? Which one is someone, you know, more realistic that they would give me the yes? And also, what do they want to hear?
Yes, absolutely. Be more specific. When you are offering, be specific. Okay. Not, can I make you dinner one night? No, you can't. Can I make you dinner on Wednesday this week?
Right.
Like you said, can I get you a kale tuna? I'm at Ori right now. Can I pick you up a salad?
Oh, can I take this kid off the bus to the ice cream store on Monday? Why?
Yes.
Why do you feel being specific helps?
I think it becomes concrete. It's not like this. Oh yeah, if you ever want to. No. Yeah. No. Tell me when. Like, do you mind if I come by tonight and we'll go for a drive?
Yeah.
Very
specific.
You're actually showing up and you're actually giving them something concrete. And again, they say no. Again, this is assuming that they have already opened up to you about something that is going on.
Or right? That it's public knowledge.
Or that it's public knowledge, which very, very often it could be.
I'm going to give you another example. You know what I just stumbled upon in my brain? Let's say it's somebody that it's not necessarily my best friend or I'm related to, you know, by blood, but it's my kid. Now I have other kids. Let's say it's my kid's friend's parent, or it's my kid, like my daughter's friend's mother. Now I'm not so close to this individual, but our kids are very good friends. I could chime in now saying, hey, can I take your daughter tomorrow after school? Our kids are best friends. That's not weird.
Absolutely not. And by the way, those are very important relationships. Anybody who knows what Sarah's talking about, those relationships are so key, right? The parents of your kids' friends, that they're going to feel comfortable going to their house, whether you're going through a procedure, pregnancy loss, you just had a baby, you're super pregnant. Like, step up.
This is when the friends' mothers need to step in. Yeah. This is when I have to say, oh, who is my kid friends with? Okay, what are their parents up to? Like, now I need to know. You're this. Okay, keep everyone in check, because you also have a job there.
Absolutely, I think that's a great call. But such an important relationship. So yes, again, we're going back. So number 3, always offer, never push. I'm going to give you another example. When it comes to getting the baby dressed for a brit milah, when it comes to dipping before a woman who's 9 months pregnant, when it comes to inviting some people
Birthday.
places, right? Whatever it is. When it comes to visiting those people, again, you're giving them the opportunity to say no, and don't assume you are doing some big mitzvah by asking them, right? The mitzvah is that you are actually supporting and loving a person. That's the true mitzvah, right? You're
But
giving
also
them.
don't assume that they don't want to come.
Yeah. So I remember one of my friends, she for sure doesn't remember this, but she sent a message so politely and so sensitively. She knew that I was having a hard time getting pregnant. And she said, you know, I know it might not be your type, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to the mikveh this month because she was having a baby soon. If that's something you would want to do, let me know, right? Like totally gave me the out. Did not put me in a position where I'd have to be awkwardly tell her that I didn't feel comfortable doing that. She already gave me the opportunity to say yes. So you're always, again, always offer, never push.
Okay.
And the same thing, do you want to talk about it, right? You're going on a visit and you're sitting with somebody, do you want to talk about it? You're giving them the option. You are giving them the choice again.
So do you want to talk about it? No pressure if not.
Okay.
So a yes and no, meaning you're here, but you're not, you don't need to know.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. You're giving them the opportunity to say no.
Sometimes I personally, I'm speaking for myself, I get a little nosy. Like I'll just stick a comment in that I just like I kind of want to know. But now I have to remind myself like you're gonna ask whatever you get, and you don't keep pushing past that.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think also there is sort of, I want you to keep in mind that you're going to be doing a lot more listening than talking, right? Don't feel like you need to say something so super profound and so super, I'm really going to say something that's going to make them happy now. No, they're going through a hard time. You're not, like, you can make them laugh, but you're not going to see something that's really going to solve their problem today.
That's a good thing.
I think being a good listener is probably the number one thing that you're going to be giving somebody. Okay, so rule number 3, always offer, never push. And again, if you feel like there is something going on where you want to push and you're not sure how to push and you're really worried about this person, you can reach out to SBH Fertility and we'll talk it through. Okay, I'm sorry, I keep putting in that disclaimer because, again, there are going to be 5 to 10% of cases where you're like, I feel like things aren't okay.
But do you ever need to know, is there ever an appropriate time to push? You pick up the phone and you ask SBH Fertility. Don't make that call on your own.
Do not make that call on your own. Do not be a pusher. Trust me.
And then
okay, so
with regard to the client, they should have a plan for themselves of what they want to share and what they don't want to share, so that they're not on the spot and that they I don't know, give me some tips for the client themselves. Let's say it was me. How am I going into, now something happened. What should I be doing?
Okay, so one of the things I tell my clients is, let's say you're going to a dinner with friends or hang out or party, and you're worried that there's going to be conversations there that may be triggering to you, that may be upsetting, someone may say something that's off color or like not what you want to hear, or maybe they're even going to come up to you and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry about what you are what happened, Prepare in advance. Make a game plan in advance, whether it's with your husband, whether it's with your best friend, whether it's somebody that you're with. You're going to make a game plan with them to get out of those scenarios when that conversation comes up. So sometimes you have like a little bit of a signal that you're going to tell them. Sometimes you can just leave the room for a few minutes and come back. You could have your people change the subject, right? So have them be aware, this is like something I don't want to talk about. Can you help me change the subject? And again, if somebody does come up to you, be prepared about what you're going to say. So you're not like,
caught off guard. Yeah.
You could say, I don't feel comfortable talking about that here.
Yeah. You need a solid plan.
Yeah. Have the words for you so that you'll come away from that feeling like, you're not completely embarrassing them, and you feel like a human, and you could get back to your night or day or whatever.
Okay. What would you say the difference is between, like I said, I'm a pushy person,
Mhm.
between being pushy and following up? You know, they said no last week, but you know, I want to follow up this week. It may be different, but how do I draw the line between the two?
Okay, so I think there is a big difference between being pushy and following up, right? If somebody went through, let's say, a 10-week loss, and you're just texting them that week, you can ask them again in 2 weeks. You know, how are you? You know, would you want to? Are you up for a visit? Just checking in, thinking about you. If there's anything that that I could do, let me know. Again, you're going to try and be specific, and you can even say, do you want me to stop asking about this, or is it okay if I try again? I know it sounds so strange, but again, you're giving them that opportunity to be in control of that support. And again, if you're not sure, if it's borderline, don't push. If anything I'm saying sounds like, but I'm sounding a little pushy, don't push.
Right. Okay.
Err
Got it.
on the side of not being pushy.
Caution. Err on the side of caution. Okay. Anything we should avoid?
Yes. Okay. So
Like hard
there are some
hard
sort of
nose.
there's a few hard no's. You're going to avoid any sentences that start with at least.
Explain.
So at least you don't have to deal with crying children. At least you were able to get pregnant. At least you have the children that you do have. At least you have a healthy baby. At least you have help at home. I don't know. Whatever your at least statement is, throw it out. Nobody needs to hear about that. They already know that they have something in their life that they're thankful
blessed
for.
Yeah. That's cool. Okay.
They know. And again, you can be thankful that you have help at home and also have a hard time dealing with
something else.
Right?
Okay.
Back to that.
That's a very good one. At least.
Yeah.
We do not say the words at least.
Yeah.
Okay. What about?
And again, I feel like this is a hard no. If there are some scenarios where it might not be a hard no, but everything happens for a reason. Very triggering for people. What do you mean? So like this was a great thing that something bad happened to me?
Don't want to hear that.
Avoid.
But I will say sometimes people do the Hashem is in control. It's a tough balance of giving credit to Hashem, of saying like we don't have control in this world, but everything happened for a reason is kind of saying like this happened for a reason, and now you just question what is the reason, what did I do to deserve this? So I guess if you want to if you want to pull it back to Hashem and go back to Emunah, let's find a better sentence that doesn't resonate that way.
And again, going back to rule number 2, know who you're talking to. Know who your audience is. If that is something that you think will give them comfort and support, then you could go in that direction a little bit more than you would with somebody else.
Be careful. Okay.
Know your person. Know your person. And another hard no is no unsolicited advice. If they ask you for advice, you can give advice. If there's nobody asking for advice, do not give advice. Don't say I understand what you're going through. Don't say this was what worked for my friend. Don't say why don't you try this doctor, this method, this something.
This is where the nosy me comes out of like I want to give you an opinion because I feel like maybe I could help you, but in essence I really probably can't. Is that what we're saying?
Yes. Absolutely. I think that advice, I remember somebody once told me, this was after years of infertility, a very traumatic miscarriage. They were like, and this was someone who had a lot of children, and they were like, well, between my number this and my number that, I had, I was like, I'm not.
Like we're not on the same page here.
No, I'm not here with you, It is hurtful to hear from somebody that they think they understand you when they clearly are dealing with something else, or when their first cousin also happened to do this, maybe you should call this.
What if they do understand you? What if they do understand you?
Okay, if they do understand you, that is a different story. And I would say it in a way that when I was going through this is something that helped me.
Okay.
Not
Meaning, I don't
to
know if
try.
it's going to help you, but this is what helped me, and I went through A. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Right now I'm saying this is something that helped me, and I really wouldn't do it if it's somebody else, if it's not you that it's relating to. Don't even bring it up. Don't say my sister said that this helped her.
Uh-huh. Only
Right, like really.
direct correlation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and try, and again, it should really be there's a very big difference between someone who did IVF and someone who did IVF for genetics. There's a very big difference between primary infertility and secondary infertility, and don't get these all mixed up. They are not the same, and the people you're telling are going to know the difference.
This is a lot of work. I'm feeling like it's hard to talk, and I have a very big mouth, and I'm feeling like I'm walking on eggshells. So I wanna leave this live being able to speak comfortably, but also have all these sensitivities.
Okay,
So I'm gonna ask you a question. What do you feel is best, a phone call or a text?
okay, good. So this, I would say, one of the more harder and faster rules. Text is best.
Okay.
Text is best. Text is best because you are able to formulate that message perfectly, right? You are going to be able to give up, offer, but not push. Give the opportunity. Be specific. You're going to put
There's
it
no
in writing.
slip of the tongue. Is that what we're
There's no
trying
slip
to
of
say?
the tongue. If you're not bumping into them on King's Highway and saying something off color, right? You're going to be in complete control of your message. And even more important than that is that the person who is receiving it can make their response something that they're proud of also, right?
So I'm giving
So
them the control to answer me when and how they want versus putting them on the spot with a phone call or in person. They don't have that time to think of what they want to give, the answer they want to give me. Okay.
exactly. Um,
Because sometimes
exactly.
I wondered if text is a little bit cold or it's not as direct, but I guess I understand what you're saying. Like I'm giving them the control.
Listen,
They don't.
it's 2024.
Yeah.
Texting is not a cold way of communicating with somebody. In fact, I think there is something very heartwarming about a text message. I think you can be more poetic. I think you could be more specific. I think you could be more loving in a text message. For some people, they don't even know how to find the words in person, right? Or on the phone. They're suddenly stumbling.
Okay.
I think a text is really the way to go, and we'll get to it as it relates to pregnancy announcements. We could jump into it now if you want. If I know this is a very big topic for people, and we get this question a lot. How do I share that I'm pregnant with somebody who, hey, really, really, we suggest that a text message is the number one way to
A
do it.
direct text message to them or a group chat.
Direct text message.
But now, what if
Direct.
we have a group chat already and there's 12 girls in it, and I'm going to tell all 12, I can't just knock it out like that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Group chats can be such toxic places. And I think if you truly care about your friends group, you should be thinking about the messages that go into those group chats before they are sent. We're not baby spamming. We're not talking about how our pregnancy is so difficult. We're not. You're going to be sensitive in those chats and trying and send direct messages. Don't put it in the group chat. Thank you. Yes, no group chats. Direct message. And again, you're just gonna say, I'm so excited to have something to share.
I have a very bad story. Okay, we'll skip it. No, I told my friends I was wearing a t-shirt that said like I'm pregnant, and I was wearing a big sweatshirt over, and then like I took off my sweatshirt, and then unfortunately like a few weeks I didn't speak to my friend for a few weeks. I was wondering like, wow, where'd she go? Like that was weird. Like, the reaction wasn't so strong, and then honestly 2 years later I found out like the same day I pulled my sweatshirt off that said I'm pregnant in front of a whole crowd, she had a miss. And she still showed up to the birthday dinner because she wanted, to have a smile on her face. And I'm sitting there saying something, unintentionally. So it's even when you don't know that somebody's going through something, even if you scroll through the chat and you're like, none of these people have anything going on. Like, it's fine. I could say it. Don't say it. Don't wear a shirt that says you're pregnant. Just let's make this like a thing of the past. I'm not going to do that again. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah, I think
Done.
we're gonna
It's
kind of
not.
make the viral pregnancy announcements are probably gonna have to be put on the
I know.
wayside unless you are 110% sure that the people that you're announcing to are not going to be upset by it. And I'm sorry if that sounds like, oh, I can't, I'm living in a
Right.
PC
Right.
world
Right.
now, you know?
Right.
Like you said, that eggshells piece. But again, this is hopefully something that you feel is important. Like you don't want to upset the people
Right.
you love. Yes, it's
It's
going
not
to
worth
be,
it. It's literally not
it's
worth it.
not worth it. Don't make it like life is so hard now. I can't do a
Put the
pregnancy
shirt on for
announcement.
your
My
mother
friend.
and call it a day.
Come on, there's more important things in life than a gender reveal, right? Like the viral gender reveal. We don't really do that so much, but a viral pregnancy, you did. Okay. Um, listen,
I'm
there's a
trying
time and
to
a
tell you
place.
this is why I'm here. I
Yeah.
want to know. I want to do this. Okay, I'm going to throw you another question.
Okay.
How do you feel about gifts?
Okay. So I think, listen, if all else fails and you're not sure what to do for somebody who's going through something, again, this is given that you know that they're going through something. We have found, we did like a poll a few years ago. What's the thing that helps support you the most? Other than a text saying, thinking of you and here for you, which is probably number one. Number two is tangible gifts. And they're cracking up from you.
I know.
I know it's going to sound like, oh, we're so, materialistic. It's not like that at all.
I
I
love
think
I
it's a
love a
way of,
nice present. I love a nice present. But
everybody likes them.
what's the present? Like, does it matter?
Yes, I think it should be something that is comforting, that
Like a
is showing that you care
self-care?
about that person. Like what?
Like a self-care? Like a
Like a self-care thing. It could be, um, you know, lunch, dinner, a hot soup. It could be pajamas. It could be, a diffuser.
yeah.
Something that's calming, that's warm, something that keeps that person in mind and what they're going through in mind. It could be something funny. It could be like, let's just go for dinner, right? It doesn't have to be necessarily something they can hold in their hands, but it could be more of a, night out type of
Okay.
thing.
I like gifts. Okay, good. Noted. Okay. Other than the fact that we've been getting a lot of questions on the live and on my texts, I have a few written scenarios. So let's start
Okay.
with those, and then we'll go to the new ones that came in tonight.
Okay.
Okay. So for the topic of
Wait,
chronic,
okay, hold on. I don't want to forget something. I'm sorry.
tell me.
Going back to pregnancy announcements. I know this is going to sound weird, but I also want to flip it to that person who is finally telling you that they're pregnant. That is a very pivotal moment for a lot of people. I remember for me, like finally being able to tell somebody that I was pregnant, I couldn't wait for that day, and you like to dream about that day and that moment. And I just want you to temper your reaction. I know I'm giving so many rules and it sounds like so much, but after this, it's going to be obvious. You're going to totally understand what I mean. I'm finally telling you that I'm pregnant. Don't say finally. Don't say I knew it.
What do you
Don't
mean?
say I'm telling you, Sarah. Thank God I'm pregnant. I'm due. Blah blah blah.
I'm saying finally off the top of my. Finally, that's what's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, we're not going to do that anymore.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to do that.
So what am I saying? Oh my goodness, I'm so happy for you. Wow.
Yes. I'm so
Wow.
happy for you. Yes.
Hashem.
Thank you, Hashem. We're not saying finally. We're not saying I knew it. We're not saying I had a feeling. What'd you have a feeling? Why did you have a feeling? Like I'm losing Sarah.
No, I had to check my questions. They were coming in hot. Okay.
I had a client who actually just told me that. She was like,
"What is?" I knew it every single time.
Yeah, I know. I don't love it. Think about when someone tells you that. What does that mean? Like what? Like because you were looking at my stomach? Because
you're watching what I'm drinking. You're watching what I'm eating. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy for you. Period. End of sentence.
Oh, I knew it because
I'm so happy.
3 Thursday nights ago, you didn't have wine at dinner. Stop.
My
Like,
sister-in-laws, they watch me on Friday night. I know they're on here. I was just saying, okay, we gotta pay. We're gonna take note when somebody does tell you they're pregnant. Your reaction is also important.
but be respectful. Be respectful of that.
My friends are killing me over here. You see this? They go, you do it to me every time. Okay, I have a lot to work on. Like a lot to work on. Okay.
But at the same time, you're an amazing friend. Okay, so
No, I'm a great person, but I have a lot to work on, and that just shows you that I'm so involved with SBH fertility, and I'm so on the forefront of this, and I constantly make these mistakes. That this is so something that we need to, read up on.
yeah, definitely.
That's where I'm coming from.
And again, after you watch this, you're going to have it in mind next time. Don't say it. Don't say it. You know what it's like to get it.
So I
Even
have a
whether you
question
went through
that I just stumbled upon. Now, let's say it's somebody that you and this person are very, verbal with each other, and there was transparency, and you knew what this person was going through, and they knew what you're going through. And let's say you're both on kind of a similar journey, and now one of the two friends, is at the next step of being pregnant, or, whatever step that is.
Great question.
And the other one is, how do you keep that relationship? That now becomes awkward. Am I supposed to tell this girl that, let's say two people are praying for each other. Let's say two people are going through the same, surgeries or whatever it is that they're dealing with. How do you continue to be there, but now you're kind of at a different chapter? Or how do you, as the one who's not there, react to that? Because that's pretty hard.
Okay. We're going to go back to our rules, most likely, right? First, this is not something you need to educate yourself on because you already know.
Okay.
You know this person and you know what kind of support you've given to each other in the past. So you're going to offer and not push. You're going to say, I am so happy to be sharing this with you. I don't know how this is going to make you feel, but let me know how I would like to still stay in contact with you and let's support each other through this next stage. For me, is that something you feel comfortable doing? You don't have to answer me right now, but
this is like a long paragraph of saying I want to be there for you, but this is what's up with me, and I totally understand if you want to continue or not continue.
You are now offering and not pushing.
Okay.
You are saying, here's what's going on. And again, sometimes you could even talk about this ahead of time. Like if you have two people who are going through the same thing, you could even say, listen, one day one of us is going to have good news to share. That's going to be hard for the other one of us. And hopefully we'll be able to be there for each other. And if we can't, we can't. For right now, we can't be. And when that moment comes, it might be too hard, and that's okay.
Okay. That was a good one. Okay, so should we start the scenarios?
Yeah, let's talk scenarios. Well, whatever we didn't touch so far. And again, if anybody has any questions or specific scenarios, now's a good time to throw it in the box.
So for the topic of, let's say, chronic infertility, so someone is having a hard time getting pregnant. Not necessarily did they tell you, you just know, or maybe they did tell you directly, or somebody that they know told you directly. There's a grapevine here. So can I reach out, and how to? I know that this reaction is very controversial. I know that I could ask 10 people and I will get 10 different answers. Some people want you to say, how are you thinking of you? And other people want you to pretend like nothing is going on. So I get very torn of like, what do we do there?
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So we did put this out on the Instagram about 10 days ago. And again, exactly like you said, completely divided. There were people who said, absolutely not. You cannot say anything to me. And another half who said, no problem. Just say, how am I doing?
Thank you.
I'm going to go back to the rules here as much as possible, the guidelines, and say, try and understand what they're going through. Try and understand who it is that's going through this. Offer and not push. Do I think that you're ever going to be looked at as a bad person if you say, I'm here if you ever need anything? I can't imagine that ever be coming off as like overstepping or being cruel or horrible. Like if you put something in a text message where you're offering and not pushing to a person in your life that is appropriate to be sending that to, I can't imagine that would be something horrible to them. Now, if you do know that this is a person who
very needs their space, then you just don't.
They're on the side of caution and don't say anything. And again, there were people who said, absolutely not, do not, no, 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 no. So I'm going to say, I'm not going to give a hard and fast response here. I'm going to say, please keep your person in mind as you make this decision. Keep your relationship in mind as you make this decision. Put it in a text message. Don't say it in front, and don't say it in person. Do not come up to them and say, oh, I don't. No. If you feel like it is the right thing for you to be doing based on what they're going through, your relationship with them, you're going to put it in a text, you're going to offer and not push, and you're going to just send them love.
But what if you don't know it? You know it 100% it's happening, but you don't know if they know that you know it. Got my question? So now I know something's happening, with this cup, but the cup doesn't know that I know. So I want to reach out. I want to be there for this cup, but the cup may be embarrassed if I say something.
Then don't do it.
I know, but what if it's obvious? Like, I know.
Don't do it. Don't do it. There's somebody just wrote, there's a reason you don't know. And the reason you don't know is that they did not share yet. Now, do I prefer that client share with the people that they're hoping to get support from? Yes. And I even hope that they say, I'm going through A, B, and C, and here's the type of support that I need, right? It's not in so, scientific. It's not very scientific, but I hope that they're able to tell the people that they need to be telling, or even we've had people who tell, I'm going to tell my friend to tell the rest of the friends, here's something that I'm going through. I don't really want to talk about it, or I don't want to talk about it yet, or give me a week and then you could come over and visit. Try and get the word out in the way that you would like to either leave me alone or don't leave me alone.
Client,
but if you're not sure, if there's a suffix, right? Like they say in Hebrew, if there's a suffix, just you're better off not saying anything. You're better off not saying anything.
Okay, that was important. Okay, now let's talk about loss. So my daughter-in-law just had an 8-week miscarriage. I don't know what to say or do. Help.
Okay, good. So I think very important that you brought up the daughter-in-law, mother-in-law relationship, and even the mother-daughter relationship, even the grandma and grandmother-in-law relationship, right? I think
the generational relationship, the gap.
Yes, I think if somebody who's in a different generation, first of all, give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't understand that you're sensitive about this topic.
As the client, give them benefit of the doubt.
Client, give them the benefit of the doubt. That being said, please understand that as a mother and as a mother-in-law, you should, again, offer and not push, right? Going back to that story where the mother-in-law brought over the dinner and just assume that would be something that she would appreciate. Don't assume that's something that they would appreciate. And even on the flip side, if this is somebody that you're very, very open with, you could tell them, I'm going to the doctor, or you can offer to go to the doctor. You could say, listen, I know you have a doctor.
As the mother-in-law, you can say, I know you have a doctor. If you need a lift, please let me know.
Yes.
What about
if you have
like the mother-in-law speaking to the son, an indirect grapevine?
Good one.
What do you feel about?
Yeah, I think you should always be talking to your actual child about what their spouse is going through. I think you should typically have a better relationship with that mother-child or either father-child relationship. And then say, once you ask your wife if it's okay if I take the kids on today after school, so that she could rest and relax. All right. If you don't feel comfortable asking her directly, do it through the husband. And again, always offer and never push. You can offer to visit. You can offer to take the kids. You can offer to bring dinner. You could offer to go to an appointment, but you're not going to push.
Also, I think something important for the moms and the mother-in-laws is don't have expectations. Don't expect me on Friday night. Don't expect me, to the dinner that you're making, or it's a special affair or a holiday. Don't expect me, but invite me. And if I choose to come, that's great. And if I choose not to come, that's fine too.
And that's how you're showing respect.
Hard for them, but everybody needs to get that.
Absolutely. It's even if someone's going through a loss and you're not sure, should I invite them out for dinner this week with our friends? Should I invite them for Shabbat this weekend? Again, you're going to offer and not push. I'm making Friday night. Let me know if you want to come.
Mhm.
And if they don't come, it's okay. And it's not a slight to you. This is not about you. This is about them.
Mhm.
Somebody wrote that's pushy. I think I don't know exactly what I said that was pushy, but
I
again,
think it was in regards to speaking to the husband. I think that somebody felt that that was pushy, but it's okay. It's very hard to navigate. Like we said, everybody feels differently. There is really no direct, script to follow.
yes.
But just overall, we just have to keep reminding ourselves the tools and just try to navigate as best as we can. Okay, I'm going to give you another scenario, for the PMEDs. So my
Mm-hmm.
sister just had her first baby a few days ago, and she's not herself. How do
Okay.
I handle that?
Okay. So just a reminder about the baby blues versus an actual issue. So the baby blues are very, very typical response that 80% of women deal with within the first 2 to 3 weeks after having a baby. They're super, because of hormone fluctuations, because of lack of sleep, they're going to be more sensitive. They're going to be more not themselves, for just to be more general, right?
How long
They're
does
going to
that
feel
happen?
overwhelmed, they're going to be tearful, they're going to be stressed, they're going to be exhausted. These issues typically resolve on their own, and I wouldn't really worry for those first 2 to 3 weeks if you see
3 weeks.
something along those lines.
Okay. So
3 weeks. And
3
again,
weeks.
80% of women. So know it's coming, know to expect it from the people around you, even if it's not their type typically.
Now,
Something
if past the 3 weeks,
past the 3 week mark, if you see
loss of
somebody who's
appetite.
yes, you know the
Yeah.
PMADs,
So
right?
here,
You
teach
you
us
did the
what
live with Laura
is a
Engine, but
PMED?
okay, PMADs are perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. They affect about 20% of women, 15 to 20% of women, and that's usually again past the 3 week mark and up until the baby turns 1. You're going to see things like inability to sleep when tired, extremely worried or afraid. You're going to have, disruptive thoughts.
Right.
You're going to see sadness or void of feeling, thoughts of harm coming to you or the baby. Again, this is normal, but it could be that you're experiencing a PMAD. Feeling more energetic than usual, completely less energetic than usual. If any of these symptoms apply to somebody that you
We should.
know, it is possible they're dealing with a PMAD, and you could reach out to SBH Fertility. We'll talk it through. If you could get them to call, that would be great. Again, in a respectful, proper way. And we are able to help. And if you're not sure,
Yes.
best to be on the
Discuss.
cautious side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we discussed the pregnancy announcement. Something that's I think we don't pay much attention to is, let's say, family size, like a large gap in age difference between two children, or genders if you have two of the same, and a commentary about, need a boy or you need a girl. How do we, we got to be careful about the whole family size thing.
Yeah, so we did
I
an
don't know.
Instagram live, I think
Quick
it was
line on
like
that.
2 months ago. Okay, I think a few months ago we did with Dr. Regine Galanti and Rachel Tabish, and they talked about kind of changing the conversation around asking these what may seem like innocuous questions and comments, like, oh, you must be trying for your boy because you have 2, 3, 4 girls, and you're like no, I just want to have a baby.
Okay.
Um,
So keep the
not
gender
to
on
ask,
top.
not to make comments or questions about when you're going to have the next child or why there was such a big age gap between children. Not to sort of expect that the only thing in a person's
Is having.
life is their ability and to have more children in a certain sequence that makes sense to you, or in a timeline that makes sense to you,
Right. It's
right?
not all that
I
they
think,
are. That's not all that I am, is somebody who can just have children.
yeah. Try and see beyond that. Ask them about their family in a way that is respectful to them. You could just say, "Tell me about your family," and hold back that instinct, Sarah, that instinct, right, of saying like, "Oh,
You would look so good with a boy.
Oh,
Why? Why
gorgeous.
does it come out of my mouth? Why?
Do people say it
The
to you?
100%. 100%. I get it all the time. I only have girls and I get it all the time. And I notice now, I need to be cautious because their comments are rubbing me the wrong way. So my comments are definitely rubbing someone the wrong way. And it's very
Definitely.
unintentional because I only have love in my heart. There's no spite. I'm not trying to offend anybody. It's a slip of the tongue of so cute. Like, I can't wait for you to have a boy. Or oh my gosh, when you have a bris, you'll borrow it. Like, don't worry, when I have a birthday, I'll buy my own damn dress. I don't need to borrow your dress. Like, I told you look pretty. That's it. Move on. It's little, it's simple, it's very
It really is.
discreet.
It really
It's
is. And
discreet.
again, don't feel overwhelmed if you're watching this live and you're like, okay, here we go, another
Oh,
thing.
yeah, they're going to bug
No, no,
out.
no, because I think really after you hear it even one time, you're like, that's so obvious. Like, how did I not think of that before?
Yeah.
Because I know what it's like when somebody says it to me. So I should understand that it's probably awkward if I say it to them. Don't ask about age gaps. Don't ask about genders. Don't wonder when they're going to have their next child. We don't know what somebody is going through. We do not know what somebody is going through.
I know. Okay. I have a question.
Okay.
Should I talk about my baby or my children or my life to someone who's going through any kind of infertility, any kind? How do I act like myself? Like, this is who I am. This is my family. This is a part of me, but also, keep them in mind and not be on eggshells. But, how do I navigate the two?
Okay. First of all, if it's somebody you're super close to, you could ask them. You could say, like, do you mind that I'm bringing up, like I'm thinking about somebody super close to me, right? Like,
I don't
is that, I know it sounds crazy, but do you mind if I share about this, or would you rather not hear about this for a little while? Okay, that sounds
I don't
strange.
think
I
anyone
know.
would answer you. I'd rather not hear about it. So I don't know.
Okay, it's good. I know there's people in my life who would tell me the truth, but fine. Let's assume that that's a super awkward thing to do. I think, listen, we're human, and this is a big part of our lives. Being a mom is a very big part of our lives. They're saying it's very awkward to ask. I hear you, but I'm thinking about people in my life that it wouldn't be super awkward to ask. But yes, I hear you. Let's assume
I
it's
offer
so.
to ask, but regardless, how even just tell somebody that now you're physically pregnant and you have a big belly, and somebody, whatever infertility,
Yeah.
because there's lots of departments, is going through something.
Let's stay away from pregnancy and baby-centered conversations for the time being.
Okay.
Let's do that. If you have somebody in your group chat that just had a loss, let's stay away from pregnancy-centered conversations or baby-centered conversations in that group chat. Again, are we perfect? No. If it happens, if it slips once in a while, yes, it's fine. But I think
in group settings, now you're in a group with a lot of people, and a lot of people will be discussing things. Now, I think as all of us, 130 people on this live, maybe we take the role of saying, guys, the dinner was so good tonight. What was your favorite item on the menu? And you take that initiative of changing the conversation if you know that somebody is sitting there and doesn't relate. And this could go even with a group of people talking about their husbands and somebody sitting there not married. This is just basic. We need to remind ourselves, like, not everyone is in the same boat as we are, and you need to start getting down to other people's level and just thinking, what would you want to hear?
I love that you just brought that up, because again, this is not just about necessarily about the reproductive and maternal journeys, right? In general, if you know that somebody's going through a hard time around something, you're not going to hyper focus on that topic in front of them. It's not the right thing to do.
But now it's part of you. So now, how do I speak about, how is your day? My day does consist of whatever it consists of. It does consist of a husband, or it does consist of a child, or something big is coming up, like a birthday or something, and you're focused on it and you're excited on it. I think maybe navigating like what's very critical and what's necessary versus what's meaningless. Like, what can you choose not to say? Do I need to say that I'm going to the doctor? with
Perfect.
my baby, or do I need to say these things, or what would my night be fine without?
How about no complaining about those things,
Oh,
right? Like at least we have a hard and fast rule around that. Like just don't complain about being pregnant or your children or the baby. Right? Don't like that's like the next level of discussing it, right? Is sort of complaining about it.
okay.
'Cause I think that could really be sort of like nails on a chalkboard type of moment for somebody. And somebody's asking, well, what if I don't know that they're going through something? Okay, listen, if you don't know, you don't know.
But always
We're only human.
emotion.
We don't know what everybody is going through. And as much as we're telling the clients right now in this conversation, try and seek that support and allow yourself, because you deserve that support from the people you love. Say they don't, and say this is completely, you have no idea they just had a late loss. Most likely it's a late loss, but say you have no idea. There's not much you could do, right, to sort of be supportive in that moment. And you're going to mess up. And it's okay. We're only human.
Right. But on the other side, we want to put the effort because you love these people and you don't want to cause any suffering or pain. So you need to choose to be cautious. You need to choose to be on top of it. You need to choose to think before you speak, because the repercussions of your words are so much bigger than you know. And that's what I
Yeah.
learned the hard way. And I time and time again, and I keep seeing for myself, really just why not think before something comes out of your mouth?
Yeah.
I'm talking
Oh,
directly
somebody
to
just wrote, and
myself.
I love it. Somebody just wrote, just assume that somebody's going through something. You have
100%.
you have a group of 10 friends. Guys, the statistics aren't great.
Yeah.
Somebody is going through something. And again, I'm not trying to scare you. It's okay. Like, these are normal things. You are normal. They are normal. But it is not dangerous to assume that somebody's dealing with something. It's not you're not like crazy for assuming that there is an issue.
Right.
I like that advice. I think that's great advice. Just assume that somebody's going through something. Don't do the complaining and whining thing unless you're 1000% sure that you're telling your older sister, like, who's very well said, but Joy Taylor, words matter and consideration is beautiful and meaningful. It really is. And if that's the one thing that you take away from this, I'd say you're
You're
taking
right
away a
step
lot.
ahead. Yeah. So I want to start going through the questions. How do you feel about saying, my friend went through this. Can I give you her number if you ever want to reach out? I think that, she would be more than happy to talk to you.
Again, that's assuming that that person has already shared something with you. And I think that is a fine thing to do. If they already shared, I'm going through IVF for genetics, and if somebody says, my cousin went through that, do you mind, would you be interested in if I connected you?
Okay.
I don't think that that's a problem. I don't think that's a problem. Again, that's only assuming that they've already shared it with you.
Okay. Sorry, a
Again,
lot of questions.
you're going to offer and not push. Offer and not push. You're giving them the opportunity to say no. By the way, my sister did not give me the opportunity to say no. And it's funny because I think she did the right thing at the end of the day. She was like, somebody's calling you today who went through a ruptured ectopic, and she wants, she didn't say, can she call you? So she totally broke all of the rules that I said tonight. And it was the most important conversation that I had throughout my journey. So again, the hard and fast rules are not hard and fast. It's so hard to know if what you're saying and doing is the right thing. But again, know your person, understand what they're going through, giving them the opportunity to say no. You can't go wrong if you do those things.
Okay.
90 to 95% of cases.
Aside from just being a listening ear, are there things that we can say that will be seen as helpful, or just in the way of showing continuous support? Is there?
Again,
I think it just goes back to just, offering and not pushing.
yeah,
Um,
yes, and being specific.
okay, so as the mom of a school friend, what if you don't know what they're going through? Like, how do you know when to step up?
You
Because,
can't.
so there's only so much you could do there.
And if they just had a baby, it's pretty obvious, right? If they're super pregnant, I think it's pretty obvious that you'll be able to step up during those moments. right? Like you may not know they're going through infertility or a miscarriage. I lost Sarah for a second, so I'm holding.
Sorry, I had a lot of questions coming into
Okay.
my
Okay.
so what if, what if you're supposed to be the person of knowing everything about someone, or you were that person for a while, and now you don't know what's flying. It's not coming out. Like somebody who's going through IVF, let's say they were up to the process of going through IVF. Now, how do how you are that person for them, but they're not opening up to you.
Respect that.
That's
You have
fine.
to respect it. You have to respect it. There's some reason that they stopped sharing
But
with
like
you, and you need to
there's a
respect
level
that.
of expectation. I think the question was, I didn't memorize it, but more like you're expected to be that person, but now I don't know what's going on.
You can ask, or you could offer and not push. Again, like I know I sound like a broken record, but I think you may, based on our discussion, I assume that this is a difficult month for you. Let me know what I could do for you, or be specific in what you're going to offer. Somebody's writing now, when can we break the rules and just show up with a dinner or give the person their number, etc.? You can't.
I've done
Going back,
it. I regret it.
no, because we said it in the beginning. You asked the question, when is it okay to push? It's really not. It's really not. And just
I think if
default.
you don't know, pick up the phone and call someone from SBH Fertility. They'll answer you within
Yeah.
30 seconds. Nobody will know you asked, and that will be that. So you don't have to go to sleep that night wondering, should I have not?
Yeah.
And you also don't have to do it and then regret it.
And I think there's also this piece of like, you want to be the hero, savior of that friend, right? Like, I really want to show up for them. I want to be the person that helped get them through this hard time. Like, that's not true chesed.
Right.
Chesed is not, you get the credit for being a good, for being that pushy friend that's there. Believe me, they're not going to appreciate you being pushy if it's somebody that is doing something that's not expected of them. I'm sorry if
No,
I'm being confusing. Do you
you're
understand
not
what I mean?
confusing, and I also think a lot of the questions are very similar, but I don't want to leave anyone's out. But
Okay.
it's very similar of like, what if you assume your friend is going through something, but you never heard it from her mouth directly? Should you ask and offer support? And then it goes back to, you have to accept the amount that people share and not keep asking more. So if they wanted you to know, you would know.
Yeah.
But you also want to be there. So it's a very tough. It's a very thin line. But again,
Again,
what if
you're
that
gonna do
person
your
feels
best.
like you knew already? Why? How wouldn't you know? Like they didn't tell you
Okay.
directly, but they expect you to know that. Like that's that kind of question.
Again, err on the side of caution and don't push or ever. Don't push ever. If you Do I think it would ever be taken the most horrible way if you sent them a text message to say you're thinking of them? No, I don't think that could ever be seen as evil. And if you're sending it in a way that is true and genuine, you have a much better, right, better opportunity to really get through to someone and be able to show them that you care about them. If it's true and genuine. If it's not, I just want to show up and show that, if it's not about you, it's not about you. It's about them.
Right. So somebody mentioned also that if they know that you know and you don't say anything, they may feel hurt. They think it's rude. Like it's how do you just pretend nothing's going on with me? Clearly something's going on with me. It's very push and pull.
It's a tough call. I would say it depends, and I would say if there's specific circumstances that
Reach
you're
out to
really
ask.
unsure, just ask. Okay, because I think we're gonna keep saying the same
Keep
thing. I don't
going
want
back
to.
in a circle. Yeah.
I don't
How
want to keep
soon?
going.
How soon after this live can I now take initiative? With someone. How soon is too soon? Like if I wanted to act on something, if I wanted to step up. Now I don't want to be obvious. Now I don't want it to be like that's all that I was thinking the whole time.
You said saying like right now?
No, yeah, now I'm on this live and I'm listening along with these 110 people. And now I'm
Okay.
thinking of things, of people, or of things that I want to do differently. How soon can I implement them without it being like, oh, you watched the live, so now the whole world's going to text me?
Again, how quickly can you become a better friend in person? Immediate.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly can you become a more sensitive human being walking the streets on Kings Highway and Avenue U, and to your neighbors and to your best friends and to your sisters and sisters-in-law and to your nieces and nephews immediately? You can become a better person and a better friend and a more conscientious citizen of the community. I don't see a reason to hesitate because, oh, they watched the live, so now they're being nicer. Yeah, so what? So be nicer.
Okay. Okay. Wanted to know for myself. Um,
Sarah, again, you're an awesome person. Like I don't think, I hope you're not questioning how good of
I
a
love
friend you are to
myself.
people.
I'm not putting
Okay,
myself down at
okay,
all. I'm just
okay.
airing as the devil's advocate to everything that you're saying. We need to play both sides. So if I'm watching this and I just picked up a lot of things and I want to now say, oh, great, I just, I think I should reach out. Is it very awkward if I did it at 9:35 after this
Well,
live ended?
I think it's a perfect opportunity to say, I'm thinking about you.
Right, right, right.
She,
I don't
really?
know. Now this is venturing into a bad topic. I'm just trying. I just want every question to be answered, and I felt
Okay,
that
good.
that was important. Yes.
Good.
Okay.
Listen.
So in regards to the question box here, I covered. Okay. Um.
I don't know
Okay.
what.
I feel
Every
like.
time you do that, we lose you. We
Oh,
lose you for a
you
little
don't
bit.
hear anything I say?
I mean,
Mm.
I don't. Maybe someone else does. I'm not sure.
No, okay. I said that
Um,
I was checking my texts because a lot of texts were coming in, but I feel that a lot of the answers are similar and that we answered them in different ways.
okay,
So I'm not going to go spitting them.
okay,
So
okay,
let's
okay.
sum it
And
up.
just to review, we could quickly review, and maybe I'll put a post out
Not maybe.
with
We
sort of
are
like,
putting a post out.
okay, we will put out a post sort of summarizing what we've discussed. Again, they are general guidelines. They're going to apply to 90 to 95% of cases. They're not going to be for everyone and everything. And we may have upset somebody on this live, and I apologize if I did
Oh
that.
gosh, I'm
I
sorry.
hope you know that I
It was
respect
me.
whatever.
I'm sorry.
No. I was super opinionated today, and I don't, and I hope you understand that I'm really trying to do a sort of blanket guidelines. And if you feel like I said something that doesn't apply to you, I respect that you want your privacy. I respect that you have a different way of handling things, and I hope that you get the support that you need in the way that you need it. I really do. And I just, if we're ending off, I just want to say we live in an unbelievable community.
Right.
Everybody that you see on the street really is like family
Right.
to you. And we're trying to just,
Use these tools
have,
as a guide.
yes, be a little more sensitive, understand and assume that people are going through a hard time. And
What's
really
the
it's like,
saying in Hebrew? You love yourself like
yeah,
you love your neighbor.
yeah. V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, right? You're really going to try and treat others the way you hope that they would be treating you.
Right.
Although have in mind that you are different than them. And
Right.
yes,
Right.
it's hard. It is hard. It is nuanced. It is difficult.
But it's worth
It doesn't mean it's impossible, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to do a better job
it.
after tonight. You are.
We are. And like we said, if you have any questions at any point, we're happy to sit with you. We're happy to text you. We're happy to call you, Zoom you. We will make anyone feel empowered to go on being a better person, you know?
Love it.
So I feel like we hit a lot of topics.
Yeah, we went. You thought we were going to have 5 minutes. You're like, we're going to be done in 10 minutes,
I
Rachel.
know,
We
I
have
can't
nothing to
believe how
do.
long it went on, but I have one question that I feel I don't want to, skip. What's
Okay.
the best way to create boundaries with family regarding fertility and still keep a level of respect, even if it's not what the other person wants to hear?
Uh,
What's the
okay, my phone's
best
about
way
to
to
die.
create boundaries with family?
I
What is
think
the most respectful way. It's whether it's your mother, it's your father, it's your sister, it's an in-law. Like,
Go
how
back.
do
Let's
you
go back to
see it?
the rules. We're going to go back to the
No, but
rules.
you create it. Let's say
Put
you're
it
the
in the text.
client.
Put it in the text. And create the boundaries for yourself beforehand.
Pick up
I
the
don't feel
phone.
comfortable going to
Pick up
this
the phone
bridge.
and
I
call
don't,
SVH Fertility. We will give you the guidelines.
no, because I would say, think about how you feel in that moment. I'm going to feel comfortable going to that bris. I'm not going to feel comfortable going to that bris. I want to go for dinner with my friends tonight. I don't. You don't have to be the same thing every single time. You're going to change as a person. You're going to be flexible one day. You're going to be in a good mood one day and be in the mood for them, not in the mood for them. I don't think you have to create strict boundaries around things unless you know that there are very difficult scenarios. And then in that case, if you don't have a choice and you have to go, have somebody that you could kind of have that right signal with, change the conversation and change the
Last
topic. And if
question.
you're able to not go, you don't have to go.
Right. Last question. What's a respectful response to a comment that you didn't love, whether it came from anybody? What's a respectful response of, like, you want to say something? You're not going to just walk away. You won't sleep. You're going to say something. What is a respectful thing to say? Somebody tells you,
I'd rather not
Yella,
talk
it's
about
time for
that.
the next one. I'm trying for
I'd
6 years.
rather not discuss that. That's something private.
Okay.
Thank you for thinking of me, but I'd rather not talk about it.
Okay. Put them in their
Again, I don't know how respectful that is. That no matter what, that person is going to jaw drop and not sleep tonight. So better off just walking away. But you have every right to say something if you feel like if you feel like you need to, if you're so impelled.
if you can't hold back. Okay. Okay. I felt like we hit a lot
We're
of
good.
topics.
Me too.
I hope that people gained something from it. I know I did. I definitely have a lot of, new notes and new tools in my head that I need to constantly remind myself. And thank you for this. The whole reason this live is here was because I just keep making mistakes. So I'm very happy that we did this so that I know
Okay,
next time.
we'll try and make a cheat sheet. We'll try and make a cheat
Definitely.
sheet. And thank you, Sarah, for being so honest about your own.
Big mouth. Thank you. Okay. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm going to end it, Rachel, and then I'll save it.
Please save.
I know.
Please save. Yes.
I'm gonna do that. Okay, thank you
Okay.
guys. And if you always have any questions or any reactions, send them our way. We'll answer them
Yeah.
on the Instagram.
Sounds good.